While creating videos and animations and images with AI is a ton of fun, it's becoming more and more important to creators to be able to do something with all that media, to tell a story, to communicate some kind of a vision. And there's lots of use cases in the creative industry in terms of filmmaking and television where someone has to pitch an idea and storyboard things and help a producer or a potential buyer visualize what this story is about. And so there are several AI-driven tools like that on the marketplace right now. But if you haven't seen Katalist yet, well, you're about to. Katalist reached out to be a sponsor for our channel because we know we are committed to just this thing, telling stories, being creative with AI. So let's take a look at what they're promising here. Create visual stories with consistent characters and scenes using Storyboard AI. If you don't have a script or anything, you can start by simply typing in an idea and it will generate a script and story for you. Then you get to choose your AI cast of characters. Something I haven't seen in other tools, it may be the red I haven't seen it, is this character posing. So if it generates an image and you don't like it, you can repose it. You can import an already written script in any number of formats. And it allows you to create storyboards in a fraction of the time than it normally would. Well, let's just get into it. As I said, you can either upload a pre-written script or you can just type an idea like I did here. A scientist discovers a cloning machine, click generate script, and it created a script which then created this project here. But let's do something from scratch. A man and woman living in outer space have hilarious problems. I have no idea what's going to happen there, but let's just generate a script. And in just a few seconds, we've got this, the script breakdown. Inside a sleek, futuristic space station, a man in a spacesuit tries to prepare breakfast in zero gravity. He attempts to pour cereal into a floating bowl. The cereal scatters in all directions, creating a chaotic cloud of floating flakes, and so on and so forth. So we've got all these scenes that have been created, and now we have all these various styles that we can use. Sketch, cinematic, oil painting, cartoon, comic book. You see them, they're right there on the screen. So for something like this, why don't we use the cartoon style and just see what it comes up with. We'll create project. I've chosen the 16.9 landscape. And just like that, it's created our main characters, Alex and Luna. And if we don't like them, we can click on change appearance and choose any of these here that we want. I'm going to go ahead and just stick with what we got because they're fine with me. I will confirm the cast. So now, based on what's written in the script, it's going to generate images for each of these scenes. It takes a few minutes, obviously. We're generating a whole handful here of AI images. Over here, you'll notice we have the list of characters. You'll also see that it's generated a list of the locations. And this is the type of information people are going to want to know when you're trying to pitch your story to them. So you got your futuristic space station. If you click on that, here is a description of it. Control room, a high-tech control room within the space station filled with monitors, etc. Engineering bay, and so on. We'll get to the exports here shortly. Now you can see we have generated an entire storyboard just from one prompt with consistent characters throughout. Now we would need to go through each one of these scene by scene to make sure that the prompts are right. Let's click on edit here on the first one. This is the description of the scene here, and this is actually the prompt that created this picture. Alex, as you can see, it's referencing the Alex character with the hashtag, frustrated, it's given an emotion, trying to prepare breakfast in zero gravity, cereal floating everywhere, bright artificial lighting, chaotic mood. Okay, the only thing I'm missing here is cereal floating everywhere. And we also have sort of an interesting blend of animation or cartoon and real. I like that. Here's where it really gets great. If you wanted to regenerate this image, you can change things like the camera angle. Instead of eye level, it could be a shot from above. And you could change, of course, what he's doing. You could change the location. It makes sense that he's in the zero gravity kitchen for this, but I could put him in the engineering bay or wherever I wanted to. Or I could re-describe the kitchen here because maybe I want to see more food floating. But there's another way, which is also really cool. Rather than me generating all day to try to get food floating, check this out. Along the left here, we have those tools that I'm so excited about. The ability to change the pose and do generative fill or inpaint. So for example, I want cereal floating in the air here and it wasn't doing it. So I'm just going to paint this right here. What should appear in the painted area? A floating bowl of cereal. The advanced option gives you the negative prompt if you want it. I'm going to click on generate. All right, it'll give you several, but look, we got exactly what we wanted. We got several choices to choose from. It's floating in the air. That's some good inpainting, boys and girls, don't you think? That was a way simple way to get exactly what I wanted rather than trying to just prompt and prompt and prompt. So of these, I can choose whichever one I want to go into the storyboard. So now let's go to this frame here. Click on edit and we'll look at some of these other tools. So we won't change all this. We'll just go to posing to show how that works. So what does this actually say that she's doing? Chasing cereal bits with a vacuum cleaner designed for zero gravity. Well, first of all, we don't have a vacuum cleaner. So maybe we get her in a position where she might be holding a vacuum cleaner and then we can inpaint one. I don't know how this is going to work, but let's just click generate here and see what we get. with that little adjustment. Okay, so it actually ended up sort of putting her hands on her hips and not completely in the position I put them in. It's almost like the control net setting isn't set high enough to actually control exactly where I put them. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, that's okay. Let's just see if we can fix this another way. We'll say generative fill, and we'll just do this whole area, and we'll just let it kind of come up with something, because I'm really wanting it to be in the air, picking up space debris or whatever. And so we just want a space vacuum, and let's just see what happens here. Okay, well, who's to say that isn't a space vacuum? Before we dig into the animation tools and things like that, let's look at a couple of other styles just so you get an idea of the kinds of things you can create. We're just going to go back to the project screen. We're just going to go here and type a few odd things. A grocery store burns down. Generate a script, and this time let's do this as a dark graphic novel. Create project. We've got our characters, confirm the cast, a long list of locations. So yeah, I can see these coming in a very dark and distinct style. Not really my thing, but it might be yours. And of course you can go in there and inpaint and change things however you'd like. Let's look at a couple more. How about a happy bunny meets a grumpy elephant? We'll generate that script, and let's choose the animation style for that and create project. Now in this case I used animals, which may not have been a good idea because obviously there are no animal characters. So it'll be interesting to see what it comes up with because we don't have any human characters here. Well, we've definitely got our characters. Oh my God, they're adorable! Look at this. Now we don't have a list of characters because they're not human and they weren't created by the software, but this is pretty cool, and I cannot resist jumping ahead and trying out an animation tool. Can you? So there's a couple of ways to approach animation. You can do it on a frame-by-frame basis by clicking on Edit and then clicking on Generate Video. And then when you go back to the storyboard, you'll find yourself in video mode, and this is where you see the video versions of any of the stills that you animate. So that's an interesting animation. It's cute. I may want to rerun that. You can choose how much motion happens in the picture. So medium motion is their default, and that seemed to work okay here too. I think if we did less motion, little to no movement, he might twitch his nose or something. Let's just find out. We're going to click on Generate. Boy, I really caved on waiting for the animation tools, didn't I? But when you see characters like that, you just got to bring them to life right then. I can't wait. I don't have that kind of patience. Okay, so that's like disturbing. So I think medium motion was probably the best there. When you've got the image or the animation you like, you assign it to the storyboard by clicking the checkbox, and then you go back to the storyboard. Now you can change that out at any time. You always have access to your previous generations. Again, this is the toggle between video mode and image mode. So let's take a look at this image here because it is so freaking adorable. I want to animate it to see what it does with the water. When you just click on Generate Video, it just does its default settings. And to go find it, you need to go back to the storyboard. It takes you back to video mode, and there it is. A little spastic. It gave it the medium motion. There's nothing going on in the waterfall. I really would have liked to have seen something back there. Let's just for fun try more motion. It probably will cause even more chaos here, but let's just try it and click on Generate. Okay, we do have a little bit more movement here in the waterfall. If you're new to AI video generation, especially this particular technology, you should know that multiple iterations are generally necessary to find something you like. And that's with still images, video, it's just where it is. And I think anyone familiar with Stable Diffusion and its current technology can see what is going on here. But keep in mind, this isn't designed to be something like a Sora or a Luma or a Kling or a Vidu. This is a storyboard tool designed to communicate an idea, not make an entire film. So as much as I want to keep playing in this forest and generate an animated elephant, let's go back and look at a couple more styles. This time we'll go back to people. An evil dentist gets what he deserves from an old lady from New York City. Generate script. Okay, let's look at oil painting. I've never looked at that one before, and I'm wildly curious as to what it's going to come up with this. Now let's just see if there's any better choices for me. No, I like their choices, okay. Confirm cast. Grimes. What a name for an evil dentist. I'm here for my appointment with Dr. Grimes. I just noticed the name. Tooth and consequence. Come on. Dr. Grimes, Mrs. Thompson. She's spry, it says. And there's Dr. Grimes, looking sinister, I guess. Sharpens his dental tools with a menacing glint. Oh, who's this woman? Dr. Grimes begins to work on Mrs. Thompson's teeth, but she suddenly reaches into her handbag and pulls out a small vial of pepper spray. She sprays it directly into Dr. Grimes. What happened in this story? I should probably read it and catch up. This looks like he's proposing. What the heck is going on here? I love the artwork, though. It looks really cool. Here's an example of a picture where it talks about Mrs. Thompson and Dr. Grimes being there, but he's not in there. So let's click on edit and see if we can do something about that. So what we notice here is in the prompt, only the Mrs. Thompson character is referenced here with the hashtag. So what we need here is Dr. Grimes to be referenced. I'm just going to click here and then click his image, and then that hashtag is put in there. I think I'm just going to delete where it says Dr. Grimes, and I'm going to click generate and see if it puts him in here. Okay, well, Dr. Grimes is over here. We don't see him. Who is this woman all of a sudden? It didn't really work as expected. I want to try an experiment here. I don't know if this is going to work. I'm going to try inpainting Dr. Grimes on top of this woman here. So I'm going to try fill, just select all this, and just see if I do hashtag Grimes, if it'll work. Oh my God, not the Grimes I meant. That is freaking great. So let's go over here to animation mode for this particular story. And you have the option of getting all of it done at once. In other words, click this button and they all get generated instead of doing it one by one, which is what I was doing before. So I'm going to go ahead and do this and just let it generate all the videos, and then we'll have something complete. Now, of course, we would probably want to go back and tweak things, but for the purposes of this demonstration, once we're done here, I'm going to show you what else you can do with all of this. Okay, wow, that's a pretty good one. That's a little crazy. She reaches her handbag, pulls out small. So this is her spraying pepper spray. That's interesting. Oh, that's a good one right there. I mean, that's a little weird. We got a weird hand thing happening there, but that's not bad. That's a decent walk. It looks like they're about to dance. Dr. Grimes is not tied to a chair here, and he's also not struggling against his bindings as Mrs. Thompson's rummaged through his drawer, pulling out a set of pliers. Although I think those might be what they consider to be pliers. So we could go in and say, no, I want pliers. No, I want her rummaging through a set of drawers and just keep generating. And that is the way of the world in AI. It's hardly ever one and done. It's a lot of tweaking, but you're still saving so much time and so many resources doing it this way. Let's assume you've got everything the way you want it to. Now you can export the entire video, which as predicted will create a video with all of these together, which just completed up here. Let's take a look at it. So there's no music or text or anything like that. It's just the animated storyboard for you. But you can also download what's called the shooting board, which is actually a spreadsheet that has all of your prompts and characters and locations and screenshots and still images associated with the scene. You can download all the images in a zip file. I won't do that right now. You can download a PowerPoint project file. Let's see what that looks like. Open it up, and there you go. A PowerPoint presentation based on the slides with all the text to go with it. The slideshow video we just saw. If you want to share this particular presentation with someone, you can copy this link. And then if they were to follow that link, they'll see the video with the text. But along the top here, they also have the option of going through the slides one by one or seeing them in a more checkerboard pattern. We've just been doing these one-line script generators. If you have a script or something that's more formatted, like a story that's already fleshed out, you can paste that here. For example, I went over to chat and just had it write me a story and give me an outline. I told it what I was doing for this project. I said, I'm creating a video. It needs to tell a story. This is how we're doing it. Create me something. So it gave me this plot summary. And so I just copied that. And then over here, I can just click on paste from clipboard since I don't have this in a PDF or a text file or anything like that. Just paste it right in there, click continue, and let it figure it out. And it basically spits out a similar thing to what it did before. It's condensed all of that direction into scene instruction. And then we can choose our pixel art style and create a project. And there's a pixel art Cogsworth and confirm the cast. All right, and there is our pixel art style. So if you have a story to tell and you want a unique way to share it with people and also give them the information they need to actually help you get it produced, then tools like this can be extremely valuable for you. You just got to put in the time, just like any other creative endeavor, to tweak it the way you want. It's still a piece of art at the end of the day, and your creativity is still going to make it what it is, and your patience, of course, as well. If these are the types of tools you like learning about, well, why not subscribe to the channel? Because this is the kind of stuff we talk about all the time.
If you subscribe now, I will not look for you. I will not pursue you. But if you do not, I will look for you. I will find you. And I